Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Two Dumb Babies. I'm Willie Simon.
I'm Eric Freedman.
And we got comedian John Hastings on the pod this week. Very funny guy from Canada. You're going to enjoy it. We had a lot of fun. And yeah, hope you like the episode.
You can't tell me it's too expensive. You can only tell me that it's a stupid idea.
Two Dumb Babies.
I love good NASA slander, man. That's like my favorite. With Willie Simon and Eric Freedman.
I like the various waves comedy podcast has gone. And then it's gone from the like inside the actor studio, how'd you start comedy? And now it's like, hey, let's get into fun facts. And now we've somehow just reinvented morning. We just reinvented the Opie and Anthony show, but we're all Opie and Anthony and also all Patrice O'Neill. And we're all bad. Didn't even get that.
It's just all the best parts. Shut up. Okay, that's fine.
I feel like it should be, it's like being in the comic circle. You know?
Yeah.
This is the closest people can get to being in the circle of comics back at a venue.
Totally.
You know,
what
backstage.
I also will say, though, is
true.
not all venues and vibes have those comedians in a circle, which I always feel like is a real disappointment to so many. Like, you can see comedy fans, like, especially if you're on the road, they're like, hey, you're going to go sit at the table? I'm like, man, the table's in New York and I have not passed through that club.
Yeah.
Also, like, I got to be honest, I guarantee that table's not that fun. Like, I don't know if you've ever been called a homophobic slur by a 50-year-old before, but I can make that like that's being a comedian right there.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Being like, this table's at a Denny's, dude. I'm not fucking excited about this fucking. I'm ready to go. Yeah,
I'm being called a kid by a 60-year-old alcoholic who just bummed a smoke, and you're like, wow, the fuck do you have power?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have a car.
Oh my god, yeah. I was right. So where you guys record is by the Comedy Store, and Will, you were a door guy, and you were a door guy in the period of when I arrived in LA, which I call the like it was the Tale of Two Cities LA comedy scene, which is if like you were certain people, it was like the most stage time in the world, everyone's cool, and then the rest of us were just like wet babies just in the alley. I'm cold, and everyone's in the open. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Fuck you! And then close the door again. And it's really fun.
That place scared the fuck out of me forever until I worked there. It was fucking like just not.
It's the most. It was like now it's much calmer, but it used to be so intense. Like
even like fucking like friends of mine. They're like now friends. When I first moved, like Luke Schwartz was fucking the biggest dick to me in the fucking world. I love the guy to death now. Dude.
Yeah.
We're just like
to a lot of people.
I met him and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Lucas." And then I saw him a week later. He's like, "Hey, it's Lucas." And he's like, "It's Luke." I'm like, "I hate this."
But I understand it. Because like I remember standing in line at that fucking open mic, and he was the one always running it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he essentially needed a cattle prod.
Yeah, I know.
To just manage the line.
Well,
like
and also, I asked him for a pen every week. I was like, I wasn't great.
Oh yeah, he would get so mad. He's like, you have like one thing you should have as a comic. It's a pen.
I'm like,
so you can write.
I mean, but like when you start pulling out those trends, where it's like that's true, but is there probably a better system at which to filter prospective comedians for your business than what the system was at the time, which is line up at like what it was at
5,
I think at 5:30, yeah. And then the list would come out at like 7, and so you just be hanging out. Everyone would go to Carney's.
Yeah,
and so they'd just be like fucking
get food and a beer.
Yeah, and they had a deal.
Carney's.
I remember they had a deal on Mondays because it was fucking every broke idiot in fucking LA fucking showed up on Mondays here. So it was like $5, you get a beer and a burger, and it was the best.
Beer, burger, fries.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, that shit was the best.
I used to just go smoke cigarettes. Is when I was smoking cigarettes. By that parking lot by Katana, there's a nice part under a tree.
Oh, yeah.
I just gun like 5 smoke. Yeah. I can't wait to not get on this list again. Oh, man. I don't
just hate smoking.
It was like a fucking like high school at lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was
like, some of us went to Carney's, some of us smoked weed by the tree.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. And then you just waited to find out who the cool kids were for the day.
Oh, the same ones in last week. All right.
Oh, it's so insane. Like, it's also like, and then you find out, you're like, oh, they know each other. Like, there's a whole back system to it. And you're like, of course there's a whole back system to it. Of course this isn't the way. Of course. Why would I ever think?
Wait, that whole knowing people
of course it is.
The thing?
This would be an insane way to do it. Obviously it works like
this
that.
is a very successful business. Of course there's a shadow network involved. What a fool I was. Yeah,
knowing
of course.
Knowing people was how I got my job at Vans shoe stores. Of course that's how you like what?
And the Vans shoe store didn't involve like the need to be accountable for trusting a microphone to whomever. Like, I think about that from a comedy club owner perspective, which is like, yeah, so many of them are scumbags, but also we drive them to that because imagine like you have a business loan. You've got a deep fryer. You got a guy that comes changes your oil. It's Tuesday night.
You have a wife. You have an ex-wife.
You have a wife. You have an ex-wife. It's open mic night, and 11 people that would have done a mass shooting if that had been what the internet was about when they were an adolescent. But it was Tosh.0, so they're here now.
Yeah,
and, you're like,
and you have at least 5 or 6 of them joking about being mass shooters on the stage.
And they're all mad at you for not paying them enough to suck.
Yeah,
I was.
We don't even get paid in the beginning. You're not good at this.
I was recently in a city and I learned that I was running something and I needed to go on early because every other show I was doing had at least 3 guys who wanted to offer their hot take on the Israel-Hamas war. It was just like, you might as well have just set off sarin gas. And by the way, I love when a comedian is going into a hot take, and this I think is my favorite beginning of a hot take delivery ever, which is no one was asking for it, so we're very tense. And he went, "Let me tell you what's going on with those Jews and those Palestinians." And I'm like it already. It's starting off with Jews, like
those
not Israelis
Jews.
and Hamas. We're making this universal. We're making this general, and we're making this unresearched.
I read one article and I'm going by pure feeling.
Willie, if you think where are you doing comedy that hot take merchants are reading the article? They're reading the headline.
Goddamn right, dude.
They're on band.tv, baby.
I'm not even gonna find out who wrote this at the end, dude. I'm getting.
I'm reading something posted in someone's story that was probably written by them. So it's whatever their hot take was.
I get all my information from infographics on fucking people I haven't talked to in 20 years.
Listen, we seem like we're all cut from the same cloth, which is we all definitely have some friends that are like majorly into conspiracy theories. Like, yeah. Like you know the ones where you're like, all right, it's gonna be you and me hanging out, not a big group, because you're not. You've now crossed that Rubicon where like enough people with jobs are gonna look at me being like, "What's he talking about?" Like, this is him being normal, for the record.
I'll see you once a month, maybe, and it'll be the most fun night of my month. But we're not fucking. I can't be seen with you in public, dude. We're not going anywhere.
I go a different way, which is like, I'll be seen with you in public. I'm just not going to be in a group meal situation where like I can't immediately stand up and slightly distance myself. You know.
I don't want your opinions to become mine by proxy.
That's right. Like how old are both of you?
I'm 28. I just turned 28.
I'm 38.
Okay, you're 38?
Yeah, we've done this before. We're the same age.
Oh, that's the best. So you know the hell that awaits you in your 30s of people like. People stop giving a shit if whether or not 9/11 was an inside job and just care about their pension happens throughout your 30s. But what also happens is those people stay friends with the guy that's like, not only was 9/11 an inside job,
so was my pension.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to give me that pension. And what's nice is
my pension was in the Twin Towers.
Yeah, the towers were lined with my pension.
That's why they blew it up.
But they split off. But you become the nexus friend for like when they rejoin after 3 years. But what I've learned is you get blamed for how they now do not like each other. Because they cannot be like, well, I clearly haven't changed and they've clearly not changed. Who's to blame here? The one mutual friend. Get him! That's the thing. If you had that where you're like, yeah, COVID was a real nightmare for that. Of like, people couldn't get to the people that didn't get the vaccine. So they're like, do you know anyone who didn't get the vaccine? I'm like, I'm in stand-up comedy. I know people that didn't get like the vaccines for measles. They didn't know it was in it. What the fuck are you
didn't get the vaccine.
About?
I know people who think the world is flat. Let's go back further.
Eric, not only that, I know the guy that started the modern flat Earth movement.
Was that
Matt Powerhead? I did open mic comedy with him in Montreal when his name was Matt Boylan.
Was that part of the documentary that was on Netflix?
Part of the documentary that's in Netflix.
That was just a bunch of autistic kids proving that it was it is round.
Okay. First of all, that documentary is the best documentary. It is so funny. That was directed by a saint. The most not one time can you feel him being like, for fuck's sake, man.
He's like, keep going.
Yeah, he's like, really? Oh, yeah, because his name is Cynthia CIA. Yeah, they would do that.
Sense.
I think the problem is a bunch of autistic kids stopped being into trains and started being into conspiracy theories and all that stuff. Because when they were into trains weren't crashing all the time.
Yeah, right.
And then trains started crashing. I'm like, we're the autistic kids fixing the trains. We need someone who cares about trains.
I even think you're overthinking it. What I literally think it is it's dads that have been shamed from building little boats and like you know those boring things dads
I was
used
captain
to do?
of a boat that floats down the stream when it rains.
But dads can't just fucking do what they used to just sit in their garage and organize it.
We don't have
they do
those
miniatures and shit.
Yeah.
There's no fucking
it's
like QAnon now.
What were the car race things where they made the little cars
Oh my God,
those little derby race?
No, the boxcar or whatever.
Yeah,
the
like boxcar racing and soapbox derbies.
Yeah, something like that.
I assume war reenactments are down because I assume the wokarati is after them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is a dad to do now? Now, dads, you can't build a miniature.
Yeah. You gotta go protest the gay rally.
Exactly. You gotta do it. Facebook. Yeah. Do you not like that these people are wearing this thing?
Yeah.
I don't like it, and now you're gonna tell me why.
And the trains are closed down.
Oh my God. Now I can't get to work, and they're doing this. What the goddamn?
Defensive protesting has become a big thing.
Oh my God.
I'm like, your thing won already and you're protesting. Still like,
win enough.
I
need more. Yeah, fuck me, man. Eric, you're not 38. This is a lie. This is a prank.
I get that enough that I'm like, I question how old I am sometimes, and it really fucks with me. Like, have I been lied to, or
I'm just so jealous of anyone who looks young because I've looked like a middle-aged white man who's been defeated by his decisions.
Yeah.
Since I was 20. So, and I'm not. But do you understand? As I get older, I can really tell people. Like, if I walk into a Home Depot, I can see the entire staff be like, this guy is going to use a slur.
This dude doesn't need my help, and he hates half the people who work here.
They are not walking up. Sir, can I help you? Yeah, you can go back to where you're goddamn from. Glendale. That's right.
But first, take me to the aisle I need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. First, let me know where I can find a goddamn pot to put this hydrangea.
No, I feel like I aged like 10 years in the last 2 years. I don't know what happened. Probably drinking, but aside from that, like if I can, like all the sun too. I grew up in like the sun, and I didn't wear a lot of sunscreen because it was like you wear sunscreen as a white kid in Hawaii. Everyone's like, yeah, you fucking would wear fucking sunscreen. You don't fucking filthy
here.
little Howie. Dude. So we're just getting skin cancer like a motherfucker.
What the fuck?
Just to look cool.
Can I just say this? What the fuck is it like growing up in Hawaii? I went there for a week, and I'm like, this is hey. Can I just say this on behalf? Just hats off to America.
Yeah.
In terms of imperial evil taking of land.
Dude, that was a fucking
stroke. That's a move right there.
Good grab, dude. And you know who grabbed too? It was the Dole Pineapple Corporation.
Come on.
Yeah.
Those were the guys. That was the reason why it was fucking taken over. Like the Dole Pineapple Corporation hired a bunch of U.S. military, like Marines, to put a gun to the king's head and make him sign over Hawaii to the U.S.
I mean, what I do love about
it's legit.
What I love about American history is because it's just I lived in England for 6 years, and they have like this weird complex relationship with they're like, because they teach like parts, but then they leave out like huge. Wait, you were in India for like 400 years, and the story is like we showed up, it was good, and then we left. Don't ask no questions.
They gave us a bunch of things.
Yeah. There was a sign that said we need help. We helped them.
South Africa's better now.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the issue?
Yeah, exactly. We wanted their stuff and we took it. We went. But the American version's even crazier, which is they're just. Don't fucking talk about it. How'd you get Hawaii? God wanted us to have a vacation spot where we didn't need to go through customs.
We learned about like imperialism, but it's like and then imperialism. Yeah, we took a bunch of stuff. That was pretty bad, huh? Yeah. Anyway, we kept a lot of it. That's kind of the end of what
Let
we
me tell you
about it.
there was all these imperialist wars we had to fight, and luckily we never did that ourselves.
But pretty nice. We gave back the Philippines. How cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're welcome.
Anyway, here's the Nazis.
Also, we don't acknowledge that essentially Egypt and a variety of other countries are just puppet American states, because that would be weird.
Why would we have that?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Where's our thank you? Yeah.
I feel like even if they tried to teach that, it would be like kids would be like, "This is fucking boring, dude." You know what I mean? Like no one would care about the. You're like, actually, the South America was fucking totally like unstabilized by U.S. politics, and you see some fucking kid stoned out of his mind throwing shit at you, dude. It would be like fucking boring. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you. And then I have this weird conspiracy theory about Joe Biden, which is why you catch him doddering. Is not because he's an old man, is that he's been told not to just baby boomer the camera, which is like, I feel like what he wants to do is grab the mic and be like, "Hey motherfuckers, 2 elections, I beat this fuck. 2 ceasefire in fucking Israel, at least for a few days. No, it's got fucking done. We're building bridges again. Who wants to suck Joe's dick? I did it. I fucking did it." And like everyone's just like, he makes some mistakes, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a president. I kill people. You want to fucking go?" I just feel like that's his problem, is he's not given the like.
I wish he would do that.
Yeah,
I feel like he'd like
that would get him reelected.
That's what I agree. It's like I think America does this thing like we don't want to talk. It's like I think you need to, if you just leaned in, like if it just got like let's. The real fucking hit. Why did America bomb Cambodia? Well, Richard Nixon was a real drunk, crazy person, and he was like, "Here's how we get him to the table. We convinced him I'm crazy." And they're like, "Well, how do we convince them that? Do we just tell them?" No.
We show.
I bomb a country that's not even involved in this war with so many bombs that after the first week, it'll be more bombs than were ever dropped in World War II. Why are you going to do that? Stop asking these questions.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We've gotten to where enough people know that we are being lied to most of the time. They just don't know what still. Yeah. So it would honestly help people if they just told us some of it, I guess.
Yeah, like I think it's
like just be honest.
Just lay out the fucking truth.
Yeah.
Which is like,
yeah, for real.
We know it's bad.
Yeah.
You don't have to hide it anymore.
Like, well, why were the Dulles brothers investigating JFK's death? Well, it might have been Lee Harvey Oswald, or it might have been the fact that JFK's nickname around the CIA was Old Approve Anything Face. You know what I'm saying? Well, what do you mean? It was like, well, no one really knows what happened in Greece and Italy post World War II to the 60s, but let's just say we killed a lot of people.
I don't know about any of that. I wish I learned about that shit now. Dude.
There's this thing called.
I take my side back. Dude. I like this is awesome.
There's this thing called Operation Gladio, which is basically like, what are you guys doing? It's like, well, I'll tell you, if anyone looked into it, it'd be called a bunch of different crimes. But they're not. They're not. Yeah. All right.
It'd be called the rape of something.
Yeah.
The rape of blank.
Stop trying to rename this operation.
Let me ask you a question. Do any of you speak Italian? No? Then don't worry about it. Yeah. You like pasta? That's good. Yes. That's the key to keep America democratic, is just lay it all on fun. Like, America needs to be tougher. We've been the toughest, guys.
Yeah. This is why we don't teach many languages in schools. So we're like, they can't learn other languages and hear from other people's sides. Google Translate's really fucking up.
I mean, you say that, yet like enough Americans speak Spanish that I am surprised that, because I'm like, just be at the like, fuck you, man. First of all, but on that whole thing, what continues to always shock the shit out of me is when he was building that stupid wall. There is a fence there, though, right? Like, I've been to Arizona a bunch of times. Like, there's just all these fences, and I always am like, this is America's thing. Why didn't any one fuck, when he was like, we're building the wall, why didn't one person with a camera go, we did.
We had it.
Like, that would have ended the whole thing. They've been like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? We're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it's like river. It's hard to build
more. Yeah. They put like death traps in the river at one point. And
it's like killing people.
They're like,
maybe not
this. This is illegal.
This is fucked up. Yeah, exactly.
But what I love, though, about this country is it gets to that point where it's in the river. It's like, you put a bunch of chainsaws for people to climb over, and it's like, yeah, it's a deterrent.
Yeah.
What if they're not deterred by that? Who's not deterred by that?
Yeah.
Shit. I guess someone really liked all this freedom they hear about.
Yeah. Also, do they know the stuff's there? Like, a few people have to find out that it's in the river first.
Did you tell them? I think so.
Did we forget to tell them? Oh, shit.
What a fucking boob I am that I'm assuming Greg Abbott in his wheelchair's on like the watch out for my new booby trap, you fool!
Just yelling over yelling over the border.
There's something about this that's such a fun. Hope you enjoy that, you fucks.
He flies away in a balloon with his face on it.
Twirls his mustache.
Yeah, villains don't use enough weird vehicles anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking. There's never like a guy getting away with an air balloon or a unicycle or something like that.
Fucking a Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Eat my asshole.
That would be good. Fucking the next like fucking Fast and Furious with villains in a Cybertruck.
I mean, yeah, but the problem is it doesn't have the satisfying noise. Just
yeah.
But you can like program noises into it, I think. So it could be any noise.
Yeah. That'd be good.
To make it sound like a steam engine or something,
Eric.
like a train.
I'm gonna say this right now. If we get to a place where
Look at this. We got Governor Hot Wheels.
What?
Greg Abbott.
Oh yeah, you can't look on X because you don't have an account. Also, is anyone else embarrassed?
So
like just so embarrassed about the whole X Twitter thing? Like it's just so embarrassing. Like nothing just dies anymore. It just keeps like
Everyone still calls it Twitter.
Yeah, everyone goes on Twitter. Everyone the tree that fell It's true. It's also that thing of like, I don't know. Was Twitter ever fun? Like, was it ever like?
It always made me really angry and sad.
Yeah,
and then I deleted it, and I changed it. My life got so much better the second I deleted it.
I remember like a few months when it like first started that it was kind of fun because there was a handful of people that found a way to just like make jokes on it or have fun on it, and then it devolved very quickly.
The only time I enjoyed it was very early on. There were a bunch of babes I knew went to theater school, thought it was like a private journal, so they would just write their innermost thoughts in 140
amazing.
characters.
Why?
It was a real weird time, and I just remember being like, and it was like slowly they like came to realize they're like, what the fuck? Other people can read this?
Everyone's checking this out.
What did they think? They
oh my god!
I'm so glad someone made this online journal for me.
It was like Tumblr. You guys remember Tumblr?
Of
course. But Tumblr wasn't private.
No, Tumblr was not private. You also know why Tumblr caved in. This is the greatest. Like, you know, all these tech companies act like they're the new fucking churches. And
oh yeah, because they got rid of porn. Everyone's like, I'm fucking off Tumblr. Yeah, and in like a month, it was dead.
Yeah,
like, oh, that's why so many people were
like, no way.
Because they were trying to make a move to be like the next social media thing, and then they're like, we got to get rid of porn, and it was exactly that where it was like, well, then fuck you.
Yeah. Well, then I already have Instagram. Dude.
Tumblr was like the original influencer girls of like.
Yeah, that was where like it's where you'd see that hot girl in high school were fucking like, you're like, hey, she's got fucking tits on this. This is great.
What was even crazier was Tumblr was very culturally significant and this is a weird thing that happens because America's culture is so omnipresent in the world, but we don't get everything. So you get certain things that then become this puzzle piece where you're like, what the fuck? So Tumblr was not that big in the rest of the world. Like, I vaguely knew about it because, you know, they did a lot of girls with shaved heads. You know what I mean? So they're out there.
Pixie cuts.
But like it was so much more. But like people, like there was a whole like wave of those type of influencer girls. A huge amount of like lexicon kind of conversation we have came out of Tumblr weird spaces. Yeah. But we just got the conversation and no one. So like everyone's like, why the whole like blue haired, like unnecessarily angry Twitter.
That was all Tumblr.
That was all Tumblr.
That is true. I forgot about that.
But the thing was is like that
queer people came from Tumblr.
Yeah, that's where gayness started.
I really appreciate that you guys have read my Substack before. Oh my god! Thank God for Substack. It's just really letting me know which ones of my friends that have not been able to ever finish that novel and just trying to pivot into journalism.
Yeah,
I don't think I know what Substack is.
Substack's what took over blogs, I guess.
Okay.
It's like a blog that's emailed to you
that you have to subscribe. Yeah, you have to subscribe to.
So you get like you subscribe to your friend's worst thoughts.
Yeah.
You
gotta pay like $5 a month for it.
It's
or
like
something?
Patreon's blogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's Patreon for like
things you don't want.
Yeah, the dudes that write articles that your mom reads. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like it's just a lot of
people who wrote a lot on Facebook.
Yeah. It's like if you
long post.
Like if you want the news, but only like the opinion section that doesn't really have any research.
Yeah.
Like that's how you get news.
Like, do you remember when like
I actually don't like the
remember when like
Mexicans.
Vice News was really good, and there was like all these. Okay, all the guys from that just turned out to be real weird. They're on Substack now. Like
Vice News now is like these 7 drugs make you super horny.
Oh my god!
Like,
or like Vice being like, I almost got killed by the cartel for the 5,000th time. I don't care anymore, Vice. Get a new guy.
Oh my god, fucking Vice. So I was the warm-up guy for like sort of 2 seasons
for the cartel
for the Sinaloa cartel.
I was a warm guy for the beheadings over in Tijuana.
All right, and now some torture.
A bunch of random people that live in that town because you want to create fear. No, you gotta rev them up.
Get them
the torture guy gotta ask some people where they're from. You know,
beheadings out of the gate. It's a lot.
Come on,
the torture guy's like, you can't make me go up there cold. Come on, they're gonna. I don't know how to open this thing.
You
guys have lived in LA. That's like opening a show with Don Barris. What are you doing? You want to clear the room up top? Come on, guys.
He's the fucking closer.
Yeah, people aren't even excited yet.
Yeah. You can't follow the beheading. It's not going to fucking work. You gotta go last.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a musical act. What are you trying to do? Also, it gives people build the anticipation. Yeah. Let's get the guy out there sharpening the blade.
Right. He's getting ready. He's doing crowd work. He's like, oh, nah.
Anyone want to take his spot? No, of course you don't. Why would you?
What do you do for a living? Witch? No, I'm kidding.
You ever steal from me?
So what's your name?
So,
you're a woman. No talking. You know what I'm really excited for is when Trump wins again, because as we know that all the people associated with his movement love comedy. This is what I hate about right now is that the whole politicization of comedy is like, don't involve us with your thing. You guys stand for getting up in the morning and getting things done, and we stand for standing near where you're doing that going, this fucking guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Comics have always been in the middle. They're like, you can't be in the middle anymore. We're like, but that's where comedy lives.
That's the sweet spot.
Comedy's going to be real bad, guys. I gotta tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, you have to come from an extreme perspective that alienates people.
Yeah. No, you're looking for a Substack.
Angry and not fun to listen to.
Yeah, oh my God. That's just, there's nothing scares me more than a comedian above the age of 39 headed towards that stool.
Oh,
yeah. Unless you're Mark Maron. And even there, I feel like Mark Maron, I would like if Mark Maron did a real hard right pivot. That would be so fun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And it's just like, it's like a weird thing where he's like, listen, I believe that healthcare for all. And you know what I mean? It's not just about what you bring to the table, but it's about a collective experience for humanity. But I don't like these women. Like, just,
right? I was doing some thinking, and being vegan's fucking gay.
This is one thing where he's just like,
wow, Mark's different.
I think Mark's been hitting the open mic scene too much now. He's back on the open mic.
Oh my God.
It's like, I got some new ideas. Like, oh no.
I am fascinated because the problem is, I don't know, like LA open mics are so weird, but like, where do they go from here? Like, because who are your great LA? Who are the open mic stars that you had? I was doing way more London open mics, so I was dealing with a lot more guys, like a guy named Dangerous T, who did a lot of bits about his shoes.
Oh, okay. The like scene celebrity ones, not the ones that like are
doing stuff now. Yeah.
No, I want the scenes, not the guys who are doing stuff now. That's you guy. Like that's
that's true. Yeah, I was like Saul Trujillo. Good comics.
Brian Simpson was part of it when we were.
Do you remember Go? There's a guy named Go.
I don't remember Go. I missed all the.
He has a guitar and he sings a song about being a cracker.
Yeah. And it's fucking super weird.
I do remember seeing this guy. I absolutely remember seeing this guy. Do you guys remember the weird open mic that would happen in the like Hyperion Tavern across the street from the Lyric Hyperion?
Yes.
And it was like a black room and a square. It was a perfect square.
Yeah.
There was a guy there. I remember
dive bar with a 5 foot tall stage.
Yes, it was.
That's funny. I don't think I ever did that room. But
oh my God, it would do that. And I remember there was a guy there
down at the 6 other comics.
There was a guy there that I specifically remember him meeting like 10 years beforehand. And I was like, hey man, we met like 10 years beforehand. And he's like, no, he didn't. And then he came up to me afterwards away from people and was like, that was me. I just didn't want to acknowledge it. And I always have been like, what? You've killed someone. Like, that was one of those ones where I was like, you've murdered a man.
I didn't want to acknowledge.
I was just like, I hope you don't have a woman in your life that loves you because she is at risk of being murdered.
Do you have a basement by any chance?
I do, but it's not attached to my house. No one knows that I'm renting it. And you're like, oh, cool.
It's under a garage I built in the backyard.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I changed the blueprints on the official state record, so they'll never find it.
Do you know if you're if you just disappear, there's no body. That's pretty hard for them to prove that.
If you just go to another country, it's actually very easy to leave. And you're like, ugh.
I was once at a wedding, and the guy on the table behind me, apropos of nothing, just started saying to someone what he would do if you needed to bury a body, and how in depth he went into the description. All I could think was, this guy has murdered someone and buried that
And
body.
just is so excited to tell
Like,
people.
it literally
something.
started with, he goes, the first thing you want to do is get a dead dog. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, well, there's a murderer in this wedding.
You need where do you get a dead dog?
Yeah, what a great...
Where do you even get that?
The idea that he's like, so first thing you need to do, is head on over to wherever you have your collection of dead dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, you go
just
to the
go-
pound and you're like, these are all great. Do you have any dead ones?
I
like,
want
get outta
the
here.
oldest one you have. What
Yeah. Do you have any terminal dogs?
do you do with the ones you put down?
Now, for lack of a better term, I'm in the middle of winning an argument. Do you have a dead dog so I could definitely win this argument?
I heard this was a kill shelter. Where are those ones?
You got a lot of bad reviews on Yelp. I feel like it's the right place to come to.
I gotta tell you, it can really shows how much we don't give a fuck about dogs that we have the kill shelters.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Yeah, we're like, those get to exist still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let them run free.
Yeah, they advertise it on the fucking sign.
It's just like when I remember just like, because that was not like, we just, we had shelters, and then we had, dogs that eventually went to go live on a farm. And there's just one day we're just like, we got kill shelters, and then we got shelters in places that are filled with pussies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so weird. Like, could you have not just gone with like not forever shelter or just not like, we fucking hate dogs, but we have this building.
Yeah.
We have a kill shelter and then a brutally killing shelter.
What about just
Really
a shelter
upsetting.
you can age out of?
Yeah. We got a kill shelter, and we also have this brick building where for $80 you can fuck a dog to death. So they say California's not working, but what's wrong with that?
We've actually spayed and neutered more dogs because of this program than we've ever done. And it's actually doing wonders for our city.
We were getting no one emailing the kill shelter.
Funding is pretty low.
Yeah, but when we said for $80 you could fuck a dog to death, that phone won't stop ringing.
It is hard to advertise benefits for this shelter, but
so now what are we talking about, guys?
Do you guys remember the fucking dude who admitted to murder doing a freestyle rap?
No.
Do you remember that fucking Mark? We pulled that up possibly.
Oh my god.
That's fucking. It's a guy. He's doing a rap battle in some like boony town, and like he's like
he really wanted to win that
her,
battle,
and I buried her outside the Costco.
Oh my god.
Was this the reason?
I'm going to say this.
the guy.
I've really enjoyed the new realignment of society post-COVID. And one of the things I've noticed, which hasn't really caught the lexicon, but this is to... oh my god!
He's a different guy. I was thinking it's a white dude.
Also,
This is a different guy. Multiple.
Well, that was like what's fucking like Young Thug's on trial for some of this shit
they're
too.
fighting.
Like,
There's like a Supreme Court case that was going on or gonna go on of if rap lyrics can be used in a court of law against you.
mm-hmm.
No, but like I don't think they can because
they can't right now.
No, I don't
like
think they can because it's like it's still fantasy in some ways, and if that's true, like
this.
Because then we're next.
Then also the amount. Oh my god! Also the amount of
Yeah,
just
there it
straight up
is. That one.
threats.
Is that one, Mark? This one right here.
I feel like your lyrics shouldn't be allowed to be used against you unless you explain an entire murder accurately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have to get it real good. Also, here's what I'm going to say. I have 2 points. One, they're not allowed to bring this in until they've brought the killers of Biggie and Tupac to justice. Then we can start discussing using rap lyrics names.
Yeah.
But first you have to capture the two of the biggest influences on the genre.
Yeah.
You actually have to like dust for some fingerprints
Right.
first. You can't just be like,
Those were like
they're dead though, right? You're like, well, yeah, you have to solve that murder. Nah, as long as they're dead.
We're not big
Yeah.
into solving
They're old as
murders
fuck
around
now,
here. That's
dude.
for television.
Yeah. We're just here to do them. Wait, you're the cops. You do murders? Like,
it is.
Do we look like Netflix around
Yeah.
here? What do you want?
yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that this was another episode of the Serial Podcast. Second of all, let me say this about, this was in Los Angeles, but
Yeah, that's the guy.
in the post-COVID realignment, here's two things that have really happened, which is A, Las Vegas has gone from like a place with some nonsense, which is if you say like, if you see the phrase Las Vegas man, you're reading that whole article because it's not finished his sandwich and had a nice day. It's like Las Vegas man bought 8 piranhas to try and get them to eat his dick and asshole. Piranhas now loose in Wynn Casino. Like it's just like, it's Florida the city. Also, LA is becoming not just the place of show business, but also what it has always been. Scum City at the edge of the country.
Yeah.
And this fucking
In
proves
warm
it.
weather.
No, dude, this is the fucking
Because
shit.
it is from, but yeah, the King Eddie Saloon in downtown LA. Oh, yuck.
Well, it's just like hanging out at like Skid Row to drink. You're like, I gotta fucking. You already know you're not gonna
You're
find.
not
You're
doing
gonna
it.
find some fun guys here.
easy. Some of us,
looking for
some
conversation.
of us used to bike through Skid Row when they were bored during COVID, late at night. How I wasn't murdered, I'll never know. Just 3 o'clock in the morning on a bicycle, just
Taking it in.
What was the thought?
What are
Yeah.
you doing? Yeah.
I was living in Koreatown and I was so bored. I know exactly where this is. I know
I
exactly
think
where
I might
that
have
is.
been here before.
I think
You
I've
were
definitely been
bored,
there.
so you wanted to do extreme biking?
I didn't think about it because like downtown in Skid Row was basically empty because all the homeless people were living on the lawns in the Hollywood Hills.
Oh, yeah.
Like, which is why LA's
Moving on
No.
up. Yeah.
The only reason we're talking about homelessness in LA is because COVID happened and all of the rich people suddenly had homeless people in their areas because the police couldn't move them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People in the hills are like, we have homeless people
Yeah,
here?
they're like, what
Yeah.
the hell?
Moving back downtown.
Yeah. Wait a minute. LA has a downtown?
I do like how the Biggie and Tupac murderers are like they're almost like biblical now in rap. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like Cain and Abel. Like
Yeah.
fucking
I
like
just-
it's like fucking like sainthood they fucking achieved with that shit. Dude. It's like it's so funny. They're just like so far gone. Kind of like
I also there was something about it the finding out that one of them was killed, that it was Biggie was killed in front of a car museum on Wilshire. You're like,
yeah.
oh, that
And
they,
he's-
they did him so dirty in front of the ugliest building in the city. Like,
That is funny too. He's like, man, I was just trying to check out some cars.
yeah, I really
I heard they had a Camaro.
Yeah.
there.
Museums are dangerous, man.
yeah, I really wanted to go to the La Brea tar pits.
yeah, right.
All right, let's see this fucking guy. I mean, by the way, can I just say this about the King Eddie Saloon? I don't drink anymore. I really would. When I used to drink, I want to drink in a place like that. That's perfect.
yeah,
That's
like,
perfect.
Yeah, just shitty dive fucking
Oh my God.
spot.
You like the bars where like drinks are getting lit on fire, but not on purpose?
Exactly
It's
correct.
like-
Yeah.
The kind of place where they still have to remind you can't smoke inside because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that are like,
They're like,
"Well,
at least take it to the bathroom. Not in
oh
the
my
actual
God,
bar.
we're
Come on.
What a weird period. There was a weird period. I remember that so vividly when they stopped smoking inside and people's like weird ways around it. And one of them was, I smoke in the bathroom. And you're like, still in the building.
I was in a dive bar once, and my friend, she was helping because the doors don't ever close on the bathrooms, and I had to throw up, and so she was like holding the door closed, and people were coming by, and they're like, "Someone throwing up in there?" And she's just like, "No, we're fucking," because and they're like, "Oh, okay, go about your business," That was the type of dive bar that was. They're like, "Don't throw up in here." Oh, you want to fuck? That's fine. You fuck or do
Just
drugs
come
in the
inside
bathroom.
each other.
Yeah, don't
Oh
make
my
a
God,
mess.
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Do we have a video of the rap? Oh no, it's
Yeah.
a video of this
No,
fucking
there
guy.
is a video of the rap though. We had it. I think it was.
It was on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh. Is it copyrighted? Did he release this with like Capitol Records or something like that?
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah, he looks like he killed someone.
Already,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now, which I really like, is that in the middle of him doing the rap battle that led to him being arrested, you can see that another guy involved, and it's so uncomfortable. It's just like, oh no,
Yeah, be like, oh, he did this.
he did it for sure.
It'd be funny. Also, you're admitting.
Could
to
you
your,
not
like,
find a non-blurry photo? Like
I know.
he gets a nicer photo than the victim.
well, yeah, it was a good. There's no fucking video
mean,
of her rapping.
yeah,
Maybe if
that's
she
true.
rapped, we had a fucking good
I
video.
don't know
of her,
how
but-
good she is.
Yeah. Maybe have a fucking
That's
pick
why
up the
he killed
mic,
her.
lady.
He's
You
like,
know?
she was better at rapping.
Yeah, that would be funny. You're admitting to your girlfriend and you're bombing, or like killing your girlfriend and you're like sucking and rapping, and everyone's like,
Oh my
also
God.
not really bars.
Okay. I'm going to say this right now, and we don't need to name names, but if I say the phrase comedian admits to murdering girlfriend during open mic, you all like an immediate person pops in your head. Like there's an immediately I have a face, and I have a face for each city I have lived in. Like an immediate
I'm like, I got one, I think.
Yeah, right.
oh yeah, for sure. I bet you LA it's probably a similar guess.
Yeah, it's an entire open mic.
Don't go that up. Don't go that up.
Mine's a guy, but it's specifically off the wagon. Which is another beautiful LA it's like an LA specific situation,
Yeah.
which is how the fuck were you able to burk this guy? He's using again, so he just says yes to whatever.
Yeah, he just fucking hit, dude.
For those of you watching at home, Eric has full left the program. He
Yeah,
has
dude.
left.
He just left. I think he's gotta go to the bathroom. Like, dude, it's a 30-minute podcast.
Yeah, Jesus, what the fuck?
Let's fucking hold it.
But he is a dumb baby. That's the What else is going on, Willie? Are you doing any gigs this weekend? Are you off to anywhere fun?
No, dude, I'm at the Improv though on the 7th. That'll be fun though. I'm going to Vegas on the 8th. That'll be sick.
What are you gonna do in Vegas?
Me and Jeff Dye are doing some show for some fucking rich guy. So
Fuck
that'll be
yeah.
good, dude. I'm excited for that. What about you, dude? You got anything?
What am I doing? I'm working. I took 2022. Inflation meant that I kept losing money on every gig I was doing. So I got so depressed. I said like yes to doing cruises this year because they just cover everything.
Yeah.
And in one way, it's like never what I wanted to do as a stand-up comedian. And so in that way, it's very soul destroying, but the money is fine. But what is fascinating is I've never spent this much time with 50s and above. Ooh, I gotta tell you,
Are they fun?
it's pretty fun. It's so funny. It's so funny in that like, as a Canadian on those boats, like some people literally are like, what's this gonna like they, because you can see people have been influenced, all this sort of stuff. So they're like, Canadian, and it's just interesting what they've heard of Canada, or
Yeah.
like some of them travel, some of them haven't. So there's like weird little facts. Like one guy walked up and he was like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, Ottawa. And he's like, that's very close to French Canada. And then I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you speak French? And I was like, well, no. And he was like, why not? And I'm like,
Do you speak Spanish?
yeah,
You live
fuck
in
you,
fucking
man.
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
That's
you
kind of
told
near
me you're
Mexico.
you told me you're from Arizona. You go fuck yourself. Like,
That's so funny.
yeah, my country was never French. Well, technically, it was a French colony.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right, I'll give you that. But still,
Yeah, you win.
Well, that's like also, I find like the older I get, the more 50-year-olds like me. You know what I mean? Like the older
Here's
people,
what
they
you
don't want to
learn.
listen to like fucking 20-year-olds. You know?
I think
And I'm still
abo-
like in my 20s.
above
but,
the age of 35, everyone's the same age.
yeah, no,
like-
exactly, dude. It's like fucking everyone kind of just figures it out as much as they can.
And then I think above 70, everyone's the same age again. Like it kind of hits like that thing of like if I'm talking to a 50-year-old, it's not that big of a difference. You know what I'm saying? But like if
Yeah.
you're talking to a 70-year-old, they're like, hey, non-binary. Back in my day, that meant you were doing math or whatever. the
Yeah,
fuck.
exactly. Yeah.
Whatever hack making fun of old people thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
Eric, where did you go?
I had to go pee. And I didn't want to just
We made fun of you. We chastised
Yeah.
you.
That's fine.
It's a 30 minutes.
I know. It's been 40, okay? You know
All
what?
right, that's pretty
I
good.
have
I
Oh,
have
you
a
know what?
sensitive bladder.
I thought that was a thermostat.
I peed a lot too. You
That's
thought
good.
the
Good
temperature
job.
was just going up that
That's right.
like
Holy
that.
shit, it's 3,000 degrees.
No wonder these
No, but
topics
it's Celsius.
are hot,
It's
hot,
okay.
hot.
Yeah.
I travel a lot. I started taking fiber gummies, and it's been an absolute game changer because this fucking horrific country, you fly everywhere because Los Angeles, the map's not done right. So when you move here, you're like, it's pretty close to everything, and you're like, no, California's a
No.
massive state. And you
Yeah.
have to fly for hours before you get to that border,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then fly over all the big states to go to the tiniest states that have all the comedy clubs. So it's just my entire bathroom time was absolutely fucked up because airplanes are a disaster.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know that, like, you're like, oh no, you should take some fiber, and they back you up. It's changed everything, guys.
Really?
It's
dude?
changed
I don't
it all.
remember that.
All right.
I've just been taking weed gummies, and that's been helping that.
Yeah.
Of
Funny, you know what
course,
I mean?
you
That's like-
you can't. What flying? I gotta fly to Guatemala for a fucking show, and it's a fucking nightmare because I'm like, well, I'm not. Here's the problem with Los Angeles: everyone in this fucking city is off their fucking rocker THC wise.
Yeah.
And legitimately believes that because they have a LA driver's license, they carry the cloak of legal weed
Yeah.
with them everywhere.
So
I
funny.
Like, if
Or
you
like
fly
other
into Canada,
countries.
the amount of signs that I know are for fucks from LA that were like, nah, just let me through. And you're like, sir, we cannot let you into this other country when you're actively smoking weed in the airport. And you're like, I got to work out later. You want me to work out sober?
LAX did a thing where they don't stop people anymore. You're allowed to fly out of LAX with a certain amount of weed.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They're just like, we have no control over what happens when you land places.
So do you know why? They said they just finally were like,
they probably got sick of it. Yeah.
Because it was happening so often, and their recourse is to call the LAPD, who would show up and be like, what do you want us to do? We can't
it's not illegal
arrest
right here.
them.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only illegal in this building, and they don't have a jail, so they're like, all right, well.
Well,
I remember a couple times
they'd
be like, you can go throw it out or whatever. It's like having a water bottle or them catching you with a knife or whatever. It's like, you can go get rid of it or check it or something.
Is that true? Is that like... that was all it was?
That was what it was for a little bit, for like that right in between time.
Yeah, now you can
it just end up in that box with the scissors and
now it's like just don't bring 5 ounces.
Yeah,
you can bring tons of weed.
You can bring more weed than liquid.
The idea that people are flying with weed is crazy. Like I understand. Like, listen, I've been known to take my weight in edible marijuana and just try and get through the experience of flying because it's just something about it where like I hate this so much, but now my brain is not attached to my body. Like, it's so fun. There's something about it where you're just like, holy shit, this is gonna go real bad. I took 80 milligrams and tried to fly on a red eye to Atlanta in 2021.
Okay.
And because it was COVID, like all the planes were in weird places. So we were, for some reason, at the very end of the international terminal, and the flight is delayed, and it was COVID. So there was like no one on this flight to Atlanta. And I am so hot.
It's like creepy. There's no other plane too.
Yeah, but the plane is delayed, and I'm like, I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be. Did I fuck this up? And so I walk up to an employee and I go, "Is this plane going to Atlanta?" And she went, "Atlanta? This is the international terminal. You should not be here.
You should not be."
And I was like, I'm like, this bitch probably. I'm in so much trouble now. Like,
that's real scary. You should not be.
You shouldn't be here.
And then she was just like, I'm gonna go find some staff members that they're gonna take care of you. And I'm like, oh, I'm in real trouble here. We're in real trouble. And then this other guy walks over and he's like, you fly to Atlanta? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, it is here. It's like this whole thing. It'll be all taken care of. It's fine. And then other staff come and they like are with her and they walk up and what's the problem here? And I was like, and I don't know where this, I just went, I already talked to the guy. It's fine. And then they all like nodded at me and then just like stood kind of off. And then I just remember being like, just don't sit down. Stand up like a businessman. Those classic high thoughts. Where you're like, gotta blend.
Yeah. Blend in with the people that aren't around me.
I'll just hold my phone to my ear so it looks like I'm busy.
Yeah,
and you're just standing, not talking.
Yeah. They gonna notice. Hello.
I don't want to get too much into
almost doing people stuff.
Yeah.
Not quite.
I don't want to endorse any sort of nonsense behavior, but let's just say someone who was me. One time when he was in college, had a real sketchy friend who liked to smoke weed that he shook up in a bag of cocaine. Anyway, smoked a bunch of that. And then I biked home when I say pretty convinced, I mean, to this day, the memory in my head was a helicopter followed me home. And it was from the police, right? Because they were coming to arrest us. And luckily, I was able to convince them a family lived in our apartment by waking up all of my roommates and telling them to turn on their lights. And to show you what level they were all on, I remember explaining it to one of them and they're like, he's lost his mind. And I remember explaining it to the other one and I could see her being like, finally, someone fucking got it.
That's what I've been trying to say.
That's where they're like, what are you on drugs? And you're like, no. Oh, dang it. Yeah, you got me.
My favorite is doing that to yourself the next day where you were like, why the fuck? The drugs.
The drugs, right? Drugs do that. Drugs make
drugs, of course. I remember figuring that out on mushrooms once, as in, long story short, we were in the woods. We did it the second day. We did that class thing and we had like a big meal. And then we like tried to, so the trick with any sort of hallucinogen, if you want it to work the second day, is you double the dose, which is fucking stupid. Yeah. Just don't do it the second day. Just don't do it. You don't need it.
You're not going to
fucking idiot. So we ate a bunch of red meat, took each like 6 grams of mushrooms and then all went to bed. All were tired. So exhausted. So I woke up with like literally I could feel, for those of you at home that have never done mushrooms, there was a roller coaster ramping up effect as like I don't know what the poison is trying to kill you, I assume.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, your brain's trying to fucking escape whatever the fuck you just did to itself.
And I just remember being like, I have 30 seconds before I am just on mushrooms in this cabin without a light source. And I was like, all right. And I remember like very calmly, and I've never felt more like, I'm like, I think I'm someone that does well under impaired circumstances, because my brain went, all right, the flashlight is about 4 feet away. You're gonna get that, and go get the weed from over there too. Get yourself a sweater, and then you're gonna need to go outside, and then it's over. And I remember I got those 3 things, and then I can feel like there was a countdown clock in my head, and I ran towards the Adirondack chair, and I sat down in it, and then the entire sky exploded into sunlight, and I was like, "We did it, guys. We really nailed it.
We're gonna be okay."
We made it.
And then I was made fun of the next day by a different guy who was like, "Yeah, I didn't go outside. I just lay in my bed thinking it was a snake for 4 hours, and I got up and made coffee." And he's like, "Why would you get up?" Because I was like, "I'm tired." He's like, "You don't get up. You just stay.
You just fucking grip something
Yeah.
and
Man
hope for the
through
best.
What I like is, you go to the woods, take mushrooms, come back after a mind scraping experience and think, I don't need therapy.
Yeah, right. I just cured myself.
Yeah, I saw Odin. Now I get my dad. What in the name of God have we talked about for 45 minutes?
We got to wrap up. So
No, Eric,
perfect.
forever.
I know.
I'm about to finally
podcasts.
understand my dad. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I need to
Unless
know.
you have mushrooms for us to do
Yeah,
right
this
now,
is
we're
huge.
done here.
Yeah. Well, I spend this whole time as a howlie. Is that the term?
Yeah.
That's it.
Man, that's
You said it very Canadian.
you get Hawaiian more
but-
every day. Dude.
I'm just so jealous. You got a fun thing yelled at you from a car window. I'm like,
It's nice to have a good slur. You know what I mean? White people don't get good slurs a lot. So
Well,
we
white
gotta
boy.
we gotta hold on to stuff like Howley. You know?
we got white boy. I got white boy a fair amount, but was
Yeah.
You think that's a good slur?
I like it. I like a nice white boy.
Oh, yeah,
What was
yeah.
also weird was I remember being yelled white boy, and it was just French Canadians would yell white boy at us.
What boy?
White
Yeah.
boy. Yeah.
What boy?
Eric, you're incorrect. When I say French Canadian, I mean their last names were Belvedere. Their names were Kevin Belvedere. Like his dad speaks French. This fucking kid doesn't speak French, but he's like,
That's great.
I'm just really happy that I remembered to use a fake name, because usually I just drop actual people from my life, and that either
basically cut that one.
No,
off.
that either
fine.
results in
Yeah.
that or the did you need to tell that story? Like, oh, sorry, buddy.
Or at least use my name.
Yeah. Oh, you got to use the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always the best.
I feel like a fraud. All right.
You got
Well,
anything coming up in January or anything? This is probably when it's going to come out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing. I got dates. You can see me do stand up. Just go to my website, thejohnhastings.com. Click on gigs. It's all there. I am in the Grand Comedy Club the 5th and the 6th of January. Some other fucking place the next week. That might be. I don't fucking know.
Some other fucking
go
place
check
is
them
my
out.
favorite comedy club,
I'm
actually.
in a bunch of places. I'm doing a bunch of stand up in January. I got to get a new hour for Stupid Melbourne Comedy Festival in March. If you're Australian, be there.
Hell yeah, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, check out John in Australia. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, so
This was fun.
this is what podcasts are supposed to be. We
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
Have fun.
in a
Just
weird
mindless shit talking
mindless shit
for
talking.
a little bit too long.
And, of course, and we also get that great thing of when someone comes like, "Oh, I just heard your episode of Two Dumb Babies when you said that thing," and then we have to go like,
Yeah.
"No,
I
I
don't
didn't
remember.
Yeah.
that.
Was it
No
good?
idea. That's my favorite shit.
I remember
Are you
how
mad
good
at
my
me?
parking spot was. I
was excited.
right outside.
Yeah, dude, that's the best.
Yeah. I almost canceled the show. I was like, guys, bring the mics. We're doing it in the car.
We made it. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever you're doing.
Do you guys
Yeah.
have a fun catchphrase? Do you guys remember when podcasts had a fun catchphrase? I just
No.
remember the one from The Nerdist, which is a podcast no one talks about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember the nerd.
Yeah, of course. And they-
Yeah.
Fuck it. Long time.
Eat your
ago.
burritos.
Yeah, it was like, don't forget your
Don't forget
eat your
your
burrito?
burrito?
What was it? It was
I don't
something
know.
burrito. Enjoy your burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours is don't kill yourself this week.
Good luck. You can do it.
Try not to kill yourself this week. We'll see you next week if you don't do it.
Bye.